You ever notice how they keep telling us we live in the land of the free? Land of the free, huh? Sure, if you don't mind being watched 24/7 like a bug under a microscope. This isn't the land of the free. This is the land of the monitored, the cataloged, the permanently archived. We went from a one nation under God to one nation under surveillance. And God's not the one watching. It's the government, your boss, your bank, your phone. And that creepy little camera on your laptop you put tape over. They used to need a reason to spy on you. Now your reason is that you exist. Congratulations. You're suspicious simply by being alive. Every call you make, every text you send, every embarrassing website you visit at 3 in the morning, it's all stored somewhere in a giant government hard drive, guarded by nerds in headsets and guys in suits who pretend they're protecting freedom while erasing it one click at a time. And the funniest part, people don't even resist anymore. We hand it all over. You want to know where I went? Here's my GPS. Want to know what I think? Here's my social media feed. Want to see my face? Here's a selfie. Here's 10. We've turned surveillance into a hobby. We're volunteering for Big Brother like it's a game show prize. The government doesn't need to knock down your door anymore. They've got your fingerprints, your face scan, your bank account, your shopping habits, your medical history. Hell, they even know which brand of toilet paper you like. You thought freedom meant doing what you want? No, freedom means being free enough to be tracked while you do it. One nation under surveillance, indivisible, with liberty and justice, pending approval by Homeland Security. Mass surveillance is the new normal, and the best part is nobody even notices anymore. It's like background noise. Remember when people used to get upset if the government peeked into their mail? That was a scandal. Now, the government doesn't just peek into your letters, they open them, copy them, translate them, analyze them, and file them away so they can use them against you 10 years from now if they ever feel like it. And you don't even care because the whole thing has been dressed up as a security. Security. That's the magic word. They say it and suddenly you hand over your rights like a kid giving away Halloween candy. Here, take my freedom. Just keep me safe. Safe from what? From life, from death, from yourself. The joke is you're never safe, but you sure are easier to manage when you believe you are. You see, the trick wasn't just building the surveillance system. The trick was convincing you it was necessary, normal, and even patriotic. That's the big con. They don't even hide it anymore. Cameras on every street corner, microphones in your phone, algorithms reading your emails before your mother does, drones flying overhead pretending to be birds. You live in an open-air prison and still think you're free because nobody told you to stop watching Netflix. As long as you can keep binging your shows and scrolling your feeds, you don't mind being observed like a lab rat in a white room. The freedom they gave you is the freedom to consume. Eat what we sell, watch what we provide, believe what we broadcast. Meanwhile, they're counting every click, every swipe, every time you stop scrolling because you looked at something a second too long. That pause is recorded, analyzed, and sold. Not just your actions, your hesitations. That's how deep it goes. And you don't even need to be guilty of anything. That's the beauty of it. Guilt doesn't matter anymore. They used to say, if you haven't done anything wrong, you've got nothing to hide. Bullshit. Privacy isn't about hiding guilt, it's about being left the fuck alone. But they twisted it so if you demand privacy, you must be hiding something. If you want your personal space, you're suspicious. Imagine that wanting to be left alone is now evidence you might be a criminal. That's how you know the system isn't about protection. It's about control. Real criminals? They don't use Google. They don't buy their bomb parts on Amazon Prime. They're not dumb. The surveillance isn't designed to catch the real threats. It's designed to monitor everyone else, to keep the herd docile and compliant, always aware they're being watched. Always second-guessing their own behavior. It's a psychological leash, and you wear it willingly. The insane part is how permanent it all is. Data doesn't die. You do, but your data lives forever. Every drunken photo, every angry post, every dumb thing you said when you were 17, it's still there. You might have forgotten it, but the system hasn't. One wrong move, one bad election, one change in policy, and suddenly your digital trail is a case file. And don't tell me about a deleting. Nothing gets deleted. It just gets hidden from you. Somewhere in a server farm in the desert, your whole life is stored in neat little rows of binary code. They know what kind of porn you watch, what food you eat, what words you use when you're angry, and which ads make you stop scrolling for half a second. They build a map of your brain without ever asking your permission. And you're fine with it because it's convenient. That's the other trick. They made surveillance convenient. Face ID to unlock your phone, convenient. Fingerprint to pay for groceries, convenient. Alexa in your kitchen listening to your conversations, convenient. You're so addicted to convenience you don't even realize you're paying for it with your soul. And don't kid yourself. It's not just the government. Corporations are in on it too. They've partnered up. Governments collect for national security. Companies collect for personalization. Same thing, different label. You think the algorithm is trying to help you? No. The algorithm is trying to know you better than you know yourself so it can predict, manipulate, and monetize you. They've turned your personality into a product. You're the raw material, your habits are the supply, and your attention is the demand. They're mining you like coal, extracting value from your daily life, and the waste product is your freedom. But hey, at least you get a coupon for 20% off sneakers you didn't know you wanted until your phone reminded you. People used to be afraid of spies, men in trench coats taking photos in the shadows. That's old school paranoia. Now the spies are apps with friendly logos and free downloads. You invite them in, you click accept terms and conditions without reading them because who has the time? And in that one lazy click, you've handed over access to your contacts, your location, your microphone, your camera, your storage, your behavior, your thoughts, your life. You agreed to let them watch, because otherwise you wouldn't get to play Candy Crush. They didn't even have to trick you. They just dangled convenience, entertainment, and a little dopamine hit, and you signed away the farm. And while all this is happening, while every second of your life is being recorded, archived, and analyzed, the politicians stand there telling you how free you are. They wave the flag, they sing the anthem. They remind you how lucky you are to live in the greatest country in the world. And maybe it is the greatest if you like being cataloged like cattle. They don't need barbed wire to keep you in anymore. They've got Wi-Fi. They don't need guards patrolling the streets. They've got cameras, drones, and AI. They don't need to tell you what to think. They just show you the same 5 stories over and over until you believe them. You don't even know if the things you see online are real anymore, but it doesn't matter because they've already shaped your reaction. Truth is irrelevant. Data's everything. And here's the punchline. People are starting to like it. They're addicted to it. They like the attention, the recognition, the notifications, the little red hearts and thumbs up that come from being watched. Being observed has become a form of validation. If nobody's watching, do you even exist? That's where they've got you. Not only do you accept the surveillance, you crave it. You perform for it. You document your own life for them, saving them the trouble. Here's what I ate, here's where I went, here's my political opinion, here's my face in 47 different filters. You're not just the subject of surveillance, you're the volunteer archivist of your own prison. Mass surveillance isn't coming, it's not a future problem, it's here, it's normal, and it's permanent. You've been conditioned to expect it, to welcome it, to mistake it for freedom. And when you look around and wonder why you feel restless, anxious, paranoid, maybe it's because some part of you still knows that freedom doesn't come with the terms of service agreement. But by then, it won't matter. The cameras will already be rolling. You know what's funny? You don't even have to steal people's privacy anymore. You don't need spies. You don't need wiretaps. You don't need some trench coat creep outside your house with binoculars. People are handing over their privacy like it's a damn raffle ticket. Here you go. Take my data, take my face, take my fingerprints, take the coordinates of my exact location every second of the day. You want my bank history? Sure. My voice patterns? No problem. My DNA? Hell, I'll mail it to you in a little tube so you can tell me if my great-grandmother came from Norway or Naples. It's not a violation anymore. It's a hobby. That's where we're at. Privacy isn't stolen, it's surrendered voluntarily. You've been trained to treat privacy like it's old-fashioned, like it's something only paranoid weirdos care about. What do you mean you don't want your picture online? What do you mean you don't share your location? What are you, a criminal? Privacy used to mean dignity. Now it means suspicion. You want to keep something for yourself. Suddenly you're untrustworthy. But share it all with the world and you're normal. You're a good little data source. That's what you are now. A unit of information. Not a person, not a soul, not a citizen. Just data points on a spreadsheet ripe for harvesting beat. And nobody's forcing you to give it away. That's the beauty of it. It's voluntary. You line up for it. You beg for it. But please, let me show you everything about my life. Social media is the most brilliant surveillance device ever invented because they didn't build it for spying. They built it for bragging. They knew people couldn't resist showing off. Look at my new shoes, look at my lunch, look at my baby, look at my body, look at my opinion, look at my dog. Look. And while you're busy putting your whole life on display for strangers, there's a system out there recording it, tagging it, analyzing it, and selling it. Your bragging is their product. You become your own informant. You used to need a government informant to snitch on you. Now you're snitching on yourself. You're giving away your thoughts, your habits, your schedule, weaknesses. Also, some corporation cannot connect you with friends or help you discover products you love. What a joke. They're not connecting you with friends. They're connecting you with advertisers. They're not helping you discover products you love. They're helping products discover you. You are the target, and you're volunteering for it. You're volunteering for your own exploitation. And don't get me started on the apps. Every app you download is a little surveillance tool dressed up like entertainment. You want a flashlight app? Guess what? That flashlight app now has access to your microphone, your location, your photos, and your contact list. You wanted to light up the dark, and in exchange you sold your entire life. And you agreed to it because you clicked accept terms and conditions. You didn't read it. You never read it. Nobody reads it. Nobody reads it. They could put in there, we're going to drain your bank account, kick your dog, and sleep with your spouse, and you'd still hit accept. Because you just wanted to see what you'd look like as a cartoon panda. Convenience is the drug, and you're hooked. Every little shortcut, every shiny feature, every bit of automation, and you jump at it. You think you're in control because you get to choose your setting. You get to check a few boxes. Yes, share my location. Yes, save my password. Yes, let strangers know when I'm online. Yes, track my steps. Yes, record my heartbeat. You're not in control. You're being conditioned to see privacy as an inconvenience, something standing in the way of convenience, efficiency, and fun. Privacy is the sacrifice you make, so you can order tacos from your phone at midnight without having to get up it. And people think that's a fair trade. Take my data, just give me tacos. That's the level of resistance. And here's the kicker. You actually feel proud of it. You feel proud of being watched. Look at the selfies. Look at the vlogs. Look at the constant updates. You've been turned into a performer on your own stage, broadcasting your own surveillance. The camera isn't just on you. It's in your hand. You don't even need Big Brother anymore. You've got Selfie Brother. You're filming yourself narrating your own life, streaming your own existence. You're not just living, you're curating. And the more you share, the more you feel validated. Look at me, I exist, people are watching. You've replaced freedom with visibility. The ability to be seen has become more important than the ability to be free. People used to value mystery. Now mystery is suspicious. If you're not online, if you don't post, if you don't share, people think you're hiding something. Maybe you're a serial killer. Maybe you're a terrorist. Maybe you're just boring. Whatever it is, they don't trust you. You're supposed to put it all out there. That's the rule. Privacy is dead, and people are dancing on its grave, taking pictures and tagging the location so everyone can see. And the corporations, they love it. They don't have to dig anymore. They don't have to work for your secrets. You hand them over. Here's where I live. Here's where I work. Here's where I go on vacation. Here's who I'm sleeping with. Here's what I ate. Here's how I feel today. Here's my political opinion. They know you better than you know yourself, because you're too busy trying to present the perfect version of yourself to the world. They get the real you, the one you don't even see, the raw data, the patterns, the slips, the inconsistencies. They build a profile out of your entire existence, and you're the one supplying it. And the scariest part, you can't stop. You're addicted. If you don't post, you feel invisible. If you don't share, you feel like you're missing out. If you don't update, you feel irrelevant. They've made sharing into survival. Your whole social life depends on it. And once you've trained a whole generation to believe that privacy is loneliness and exposure is connection, then you don't need to spy on them anymore. They'll spy on themselves. They'll do it happily. They'll do it for free. This isn't some top secret government operation. It's a carnival. It's entertainment. It's fun. And you're standing in line, paying with your personal life, begging for more. You used to fight for your rights. Now you trade them for emojis and convenience. You used to be suspicious of power. Now you follow it, like, comment on it, and retweet it. The surveillance state isn't something imposed on you. It's something you log into every morning with a smile. You put in your password, you open the app, you scroll through the ads, and you call it freedom. That's what voluntary surrender of privacy looks like. It's not chains and cages. It's likes and followers. It's filters and feeds. It's not some jackboot kicking down your door. It's a notification popping up on your screen. And you can't wait to check it. Because maybe, just maybe, someone's watching you. They keep telling you you're free. That's the line, that's the slogan, that's the chant. The land of the free, you've heard it so many times you don't even question it anymore. It's part of the wallpaper of your brain. But take a look around. What exactly are you free to do? You're free to pick from 2 corporate-approved political parties that both work for the same donors. You're free to choose between 100 brands of cereal owned by the same 3 companies. You're free to sign your life away on a 30-year mortgage, so you can live in a house you'll never really own, in a neighborhood you can't afford to leave. That's not freedom. That's an amusement park ride with invisible rails. You can scream, you can throw your hands in the air, but you're not steering the car. You're just along for the ride and you paid for the ticket. Real freedom would mean control over your own life. But you don't have control. You've got obligations, contracts, subscriptions, debts, taxes, terms, and conditions you never read, and rules you never voted for. Freedom doesn't mean you get to live how you want. Freedom means you get to choose which set of handcuffs you like best. Want a job? Fine. But you'll spend 40 years doing what someone else tells you to do, where they tell you to do it, when they tell you to do it. Want health care? Fine. But you'll need insurance, premiums, co-pays, deductibles, and permission slips from people who make more money the sicker you are. Want an education? Sure, but it'll cost you the next 20 years of your financial life. That's the deal. They call it freedom because technically you can say no, but say no to all of it, and see how long you last. The illusion of freedom is the most dangerous trick they've ever pulled. It's not change, it's choices. That's the sleight of hand. They don't lock you up, they give you options. Do you want Coke or Pepsi? Fox or CNN? Democrat or Republican? iPhone or Android? It doesn't matter what you pick, because the people who own all the options are the same people who own you. They don't care what flavor of cage you like. As long as you pick a cage, they win. Then you think you're free because you gotta pick. That's the genius. You confuse consumer choice with actual freedom. You confuse a ballot with real power. You confuse a slogan with reality. And oh, they love to wave the flag in your face. They love to remind you how lucky you are to live here, how people died for your freedom, how it's the greatest country on earth. Well, if it's so damn free, why do you spend your life asking permission for everything? Permission to build a deck on your house. Permission to open a business. Permission to travel. Permission to protest. Permission to drive. Permission to exist. Every so-called freedom you have is a license they can take away. And if they can take it away, it's not freedom, it's a temporary privilege. But hey, you can still choose your ringtone. Land of the free, baby. And you want to know how you know it's all an illusion? Look at how people live. Look at how anxious, stressed, and overworked they are. Look at the pills they take, the booze they drink, the screens they stare at. Free people don't live like hamsters in a wheel, running faster just to stay in place. Free people don't sell their time, their health, their peace of mind just to keep the lights on. Free people don't spend half their lives working jobs they hate, for money they don't have to buy shit they don't need. That's not freedom. That's a treadmill with a patriotic paint job. And the best part? You police yourself. That's the genius of the illusion. You don't need guards and chains if people are too tired, too broke, and too distracted to rebel. Keep them entertained, keep them divided, keep them scared, and you can convince them they're free while they live like domesticated pets. You don't need to silence people if you've convinced them that talking doesn't matter. You don't need to outlaw rebellion if you've trained people to rebel against each other instead of against the people who hold the leash. The illusion of freedom is strong enough that people will defend their own oppression. But they'll fight to the death to protect the very system that keeps them chained, because they've been brainwashed into thinking the cage is their home. Look at elections. Every few years they give you a spectacle. Red team, blue team. They shout, they argue, they pretend to hate each other, and you get to cast your vote like it's sacred. And then no matter who wins, nothing really changes. The wars continue. The banks get richer. The corporations keep running the show, and you're still working overtime to pay off credit cards. But you feel free because you got a sticker that says, "I voted." That's the level of manipulation. They give you a sticker and you think you participated in democracy. It's like letting the inmates vote for which prison guard yells at them. The illusion runs deep. It's in your job, your school, your entertainment. They tell you to dream big, but only within the system. You can be anything you want. Doctor, lawyer, astronaut, as long as you play by their rules, borrow their money, and sign their contracts. You can speak your mind as long as it's within the acceptable spectrum of opinion. You can question authority as long as you don't question the existence of authority itself. You can complain as long as you keep working. You can protest as long as it doesn't actually change anything. That's the boundary of your freedom, just enough rope to hang yourself, not enough to climb out of the pit. And here's the kicker. They don't even need to hide it. They can show you the corruption, the lies, the manipulation, and you still won't do anything. That's how powerful the illusion is. You'll watch politicians get caught lying, corporations get caught cheating, governments get caught spying, and you'll just shrug, because deep down you've been trained to believe there's nothing you can do. You're free enough to complain, but not free enough to change anything. That's not an accident, that's the design. A population that thinks it's free will never rise up, because they don't realize they're trapped. And the truth is, people like the illusion. They like the comfort of believing they're free. Real freedom is scary. Real freedom means risk, uncertainty, responsibility. It means facing the fact that nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to manage your life for you. People don't want that. They want safety, stability, predictability. They want the cage as long as it's padded and comes with Wi-Fi. They'd rather have the illusion of freedom with convenience than the reality of freedom with chaos. And the people in charge know it. They know you'll trade your birthright for a little comfort, a little entertainment, a little promise of safety. That's why the illusion works. So you go and live in your life, waving your little flag, paying your little bills, voting for your little candidates, posting your little thoughts online, thinking you're free. Meanwhile, the system hums along, fat and happy, because it's got you right where it wants you, convinced you're free while you do exactly what you're told. That's the illusion. That's the joke. And the punchline is, you laugh at people who see through it. You call them crazy, paranoid, unpatriotic. You defend the illusion because without it, you'd have to face the truth that you're not free and maybe never were. So here we are, one nation, under surveillance, under control, under the illusion that it's all for our own good. We handed over our privacy like it was pocket change. We convinced ourselves that consumer choice is freedom. And now we're so proud of being watched, we don't even realize the bars of the cage are closing in. And the funniest part, we call it progress, we call it liberty, we call it the American dream. But dreams aren't real. You wake up from them, and if you ever wake up from this one, you'll see it for what it really is. Not freedom, not safety, not democracy. Just a well-decorated cell with a flag on the wall and a camera in the corner.